Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Madam President, despite the declared ceasefire, Gaza remains devastated and under siege. Israel, the occupying regime, continues to violate the ceasefire through ongoing military attacks and severe restriction on humanitarian access. It is further deepening the suffering of civilians. At the same time, the Israeli regime continues its illegal settlement expansion in the occupied West Bank, in clear violation of international law and relevant United Nations resolutions. Israel's repeated acts of aggression against Lebanon and continued violations of Syrian sovereignty and territorial integrity further threaten regional peace and security. The continued unlawful actions of the Israeli regime pose a grave threat to international peace and security. Against this backdrop, Iran reiterates that any credible solution must ensure a permanent ceasefire, unhindered humanitarian access, the full withdrawal of Israeli occupying forces, and full UN membership for the state of Palestine. Humanitarian assistance and Gaza's reconstruction must never be conditioned on political or military objectives. Accountability is indispensable. The Israeli regime, together with those that enable this regime for its atrocious crimes through political, military, and economic support, must be held responsible for grave violations of international humanitarian law. The issuance of arrest warrants by the ICC on 21st November 2024 against the criminal Prime Minister of the Israeli regime for the commission of war crimes and crimes against humanity is a clear reminder that no one is above international law. Madam President, I must also respond to the baseless allegations leveled against my country, particularly by the representative of the United States. I categorically reject all those unfounded and politically motivated accusations. The representative of the United States has once again restored to lies, disinformation, and a campaign of distortion in a desperate attempt to justify the United States' unlawful acts of aggression against Iran. These allegations are part of the long-standing hostile policy pursued by the United States and the Israeli regime against Iran to advance their political and military objectives, conceal their unlawful actions and malicious activities in the region, and justify the U.S. destabilizing military presence in the region. However, the facts are clear and cannot be denied. The United States is the aggressor. Through its acts of aggression against Iran, the United States has violated the Charter of the United Nations and fundamental principles of international law, including the peremptory prohibition on the use of force and the prohibition of aggression. By deliberately targeting civilian and civilian infrastructure, including schools, hospitals, medical facilities, bridges, sport facilities, and other essential infrastructure, the United States has committed grave violations of international humanitarian law, including war crimes. The attacks on the Minab school is a tragic and undeniable example of those crimes. The President of the United States and other senior officials have openly acknowledged the commission of these heinous crimes and have even expressed pride in them. Such statements constitute further evidence of their responsibility. The United States bears full international responsibility for its internationally wrongful acts. Those who are responsible for these grave crimes will sooner or later face accountability before competent international judicial bodies. no one is above international law, and there will be no impunity. The international community and the Security Council must not allow these crimes to be normalized. Silence and impunity will only encourage their repetition. Madam President, in conclusion, we reiterate that all Iran's measures are defensive, necessary, and consistent with international law. The root causes of the current situation are clear. United States' ongoing unlawful actions pose a serious threat to regional stability, freedom of navigation, and the security of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. The Islamic Republic of Iran has exercised and will continue to exercise its inherent right of self-defense in accordance with Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations to protect its people and to defend and safeguard its sovereignty, territorial integrity, and vital national interest against U.S. acts of aggression. I thank you.